bolster or 2 bolsters or somewhere in between. It just depends on both your back bending capacity and the length of your torso, the length of your legs. So it's not predictable. So a longer body doesn't necessarily need less in this variation of the pose. This is a Ustrasana, a variation of camel pose. And the key to it is to be supported in it. So it's a supported back bend, which sounds like this should be easier than a regular back bend. That isn't usually the case. Because in the supported back bends, as the body releases, you can hold longer. So if we do normal Ustrasana, most of us will hold 10 breaths in the pose. That would be long enough. And so we don't necessarily get to the depth of what's happening in the body. We only touch the muscular skeletal layer when we hold for 3, 5, 7 breaths. It's thought that in order to get to the organ system more, you need at least a 3-minute hold. That's basically 1 full circulation cycle. So, and these kind of poses can be held for as long as 15 or 20 minutes if you have both the inclination and the time. But it's a little strange in that the bolsters have a little bit of a roll to them. So you may find that you feel twisted in it, in which case you need to adjust that. You need to come out, try to get as stable as possible. There are 3 movements that are of critical importance in back bending. Typically, those movements they're very important in a variety of things, but the movements are, if this is my foot position, keeping the 4 points of the foot in contact with the floor, and then dragging the heel this way, will begin to create some space in the sacrum. Then, having done that, the 2 front hip bones, your iliums, move slightly towards each other. The best way to learn that is breathe out through your mouth, basically like you're trying to blow out a candle. So that if I go like this, just slowly, as you breathe out through your mouth in that way, or like you're breathing out through a straw, the 2 iliums will move towards each other because of what's created in the abdominal region. That's the force that you want. You don't want to over-create this movement, just enough so that the transverse abdominis engages a little bit. And then at the pubis, a very soft movement of the skin inward and backward. Don't get confused about this. I'm not asking you to take your navel to your spine. If you hear that instruction out of me, get your money back. Okay? It's generally a harmful instruction, okay, compared to the pubis. So you have those 3 things going on. So if I'm in Ustrasana and I'm going back, the heels are still moving away from each other. It's the same idea. It's to move backward here, this way in, a little bit slight, and then into your back bend. So you come in front of the bolster and you push it downward slightly. Press the feet into the floor, lay back over the bolster, take your head back, hold your hands here. Now, for those of you that are less experienced in these poses, it will be better to have a support under your head. So rather than being hanging back like so, take whatever you need to hold this position. And then you just hang out. Anytime the lower back hurts, think of moving the heel bones away from each other, breathing out as though you're breathing out through a straw, and draw the pubis slightly back. To come out of the pose, lift the head, and then sit upright. And from there, you're going to want to go down to the floor. Virasana. So Virasana releases the back. It's an internal rotation of the thighs. It broadens the sacrum. It doesn't have to be on the floor. It can be Virasana on 6 blocks. It doesn't matter. Whatever you need so that your knees are happy. Have you done this before? No. Okay. If you need to go in and out, which may be possible there. So if your back is compromised, generally stay 3 breaths longer than what you feel so as soon as you feel, I'm ready now, have to come out, add 3 breaths. Right? Then come out, rest in Virasana, then go back in again. Those of you that can stay, it's about a 5-minute hold. All of the work is in the kidneys. Everything is, can you make your kidneys wider and longer with each breath?